Hey guys, welcome to the Spring Summer Coffee Lovers Hop running from May 22nd to May 29th. I'm going to have all the details for the blog hop down below, as well as information on the prizes. I'm Amber from NotableInk.com and I have two coffee projects to share with you today. Let's jump in. So I have a piece of pattern paper here that I printed out on a half sheet of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80 pound. And this is from the Graciellie Designs Coffee Lovers paper pack. So what I wanted to do was use the new Wow Changers. So I have the Changers Glisten here, and that is the glittery, sparkly one. They also have one that's more of a sheen and then also texture that you can add. These changers will lighten your embossing powders just a bit and then add the, like I said, either texture, glisten, or sheen to your powder. So I have Glassy Ocean here, which is from the Dockside trio. And I'm going to put in one part of the embossing powder and then one part of the glisten changer. Now, when you purchase changers, you get 3 mixing containers. So Wow powders are already pre-treated to be anti-static. So I've already used up my other jar, so I'm just going to go ahead and mix this in a coffee filter. You do want to make sure that you use a metal spoon when you're mixing and when you're decanting, because that's going to help keep the anti-static properties. What you don't want to use is plastic. So I have the Wow embossing pin here, and I'm just going to add some glitter embossing details to some of these teal areas. So I've mixed up my 2 powders. I'm going to sprinkle this on my cardstock, and then I'll knock off the excess back into the coffee filter. You do want to make sure that you mix your powders really well, so you can kind of see that I'm continuing to mix my powder right on my cardstock here. I'll knock off the excess, and basically you just color with the embossing pen and look how beautifully it embosses. It's like perfect. I love it. I love the sparkle of this glisten powder. I think, you can get basically 4 different looks with one embossing powder with the changers kit, because you have the 3 different styles that you can create with. So I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss this. Now when you're embossing your glitter powders, you want to start heating from the back until the embossing powder starts to melt, and then you can come to the front. That's going to ensure that the heat tool doesn't blow any of your glitter away. You want to make sure you keep all of that glitter on your project. There you can see the result, and then I'll go ahead and I'll repeat this process. I'm just checking to see what I need to color. So obviously I'm going to cut off half of that little cafe. So I'll go ahead and color in the straw and then that little cafe symbol over on the side. And this is a perfect way to add heat embossing to your digital stamps or your digital papers, like this one here. This pen is perfect for your sentiment. So this is a pretty fine sentiment, but you'll see once I emboss it how nicely it takes to the letters. So just a great way to add embossing to your digital projects. For the sentiment, I just used a sentiment strip and cut it up and stacked it. And here you can see the finished card here. I just love how it turned out. Moving on to the Honeybee Stamps Coffee Cup Gift Card Holder. So I already have the pieces cut out, and you can see up in the upper left-hand corner what all of those pieces are. I'm not going to use the circle die, but all of the other pieces I have cut from Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110 pound cardstock. And then I have the Altenew Classic Stripes stencil here. And I'm lining it up so that the stripe doesn't fall where the card creases. So where the card is going to fold, I don't want to have embossing powder there. I want to make sure that those stripes skip over that area. Now I'll go ahead and take the embossing pad directly to the cardstock and the stencil, and I'll press it down, and then you can also swipe it. Either technique works just as well. I tend to do both, and I'll swipe from both directions to make sure that I have it on evenly. Once I'm done adding the ink, I will take off the stencil and I'll sprinkle on Metalline Kiwi Krush. This is another Wow embossing powder, and I usually just generously kind of sprinkle it on there, and then I'll tap off the excess. You want to tap gently because of course you don't want to knock off all of your embossing powder, but it does a really good job of sticking on there with that slow dry embossing pad. If you have any excess, you can use a dry paintbrush to knock those off. And so when I was kind of going in between some of the stripes, I messed up my lines a little bit. And so then I just decided to make all of the lines wavy. So now you can see that I'm adding a little bit of a rougher texture to each one of those lines. And that was simply because I didn't want to start over. And then I'll go ahead and line up my stencil again and do the second half of this because the stencil wasn't large enough for the whole gift card holder. The gift card holder die will score the embossed fold lines for you, so I'll go ahead and reinforce those. I cut out 2 coffee cup lids and I'll go ahead and glue those directly on. You could pop them up, but it will have an additional kind of lip or edge just being glued flat. So I went ahead and did that. I'll use a piece of score tape and I'm going to use this to hold this tab down so that I can slide the card up underneath there. So I used 1/4 inch, but I think 1/8 inch would be a little bit easier. It was pretty tight to get this in there. So 1/8 inch would give you a little bit more wiggle room, and you can see that I'm trying to fit that in there. The nice thing about it though is it stays nice and secure. So now I have the coffee cup wrap. I'm just adding a piece of 1/8 inch score tape to the tab there. Once I get that adhered, I'll slide that over the card, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment on this little wrap here. So I have the Simon Says Stamp Coffee and Tea stamp set. I'm going to stamp that in Obsidian Pigment Ink. Now this is a pigment ink, so you can heat emboss with pigment ink. It'll stick really nicely, almost just as well as the Wow embossing pad. And so it's not completely dry, and I'm going to stamp the little hearts that go with this. So what I'm going to do is when I sprinkle on my embossing powder, this is Primary Apple Red embossing powder, I'm going to make sure that I don't get any on the black ink because it's not completely dry. I don't want my sentiment to turn red. I'll go ahead and heat emboss this, and I felt like with just the outline hearts, it didn't show up very well. So it's there, but it kind of lacked a little something. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the hearts with the Wow embossing pen, and I'll heat emboss those so that the hearts are solid. So again, if you have a little bit of stray powder, just use a dry paintbrush to knock that off, and then go ahead and heat set them to melt the powder. If you wanted the hearts to have more dimension, you could heat emboss it more than once to add some height to those hearts. Here's the finished project. I really like the green stripes. I think it's reminiscent of course, Starbucks, which is the first coffee place that comes to mind for me, and it is all ready for a gift card. I hope you enjoyed these coffee-related projects today. I had a blast making them. I will have all the links to the supplies down below, as well as links to the blog hop, and that's how you're going to find information on the prizes. Be sure to tag us at Wow Embossing Powder, Notable Ink, and Spring Summer 2020 CLH. Huge thanks to coffeelovingcardmakers.com for inviting us to hop along. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, and I'll see you soon with more inspiration.